We're going to talk about a stock that had a great 2024 this year, a CEO in Elon Musk that had a great 2024 year. That stock is Tesla. Let's take a look at the last 10 years. White line on this chart is going to be the GM price action, and the blue line is your Tesla price action. And as you can see, over the last 10 years, GM stock has done next to nothing, and Tesla stock has made folks very, very wealthy. Let's take a look at the numbers as to what they've done and how they've done that. First, we wanted to start with the difficulties that are General Motors. You can take a look, 2014 here, enterprise value of the company, $41 billion. Current day, just over $50 billion essentially. Very, very tiny growth for that stock, and here's why. Take a look at the revenue here at General Motors, $156 billion in 2014. Price of cars went up massively, and yet we're still at just $180 billion in revenue. 10 years later, that is because their market share lunch got eaten by Tesla. Let's take a look at that. So remember that $155 billion in revenue? Well, back in 2014, Tesla was only at 3, right? But what about today, the last 10 years? Tesla now knocking on the door of $100 billion in revenue. That's supposed to go to GM essentially, but it was all usurped. It was all taken by Tesla. And what happened to the market cap of Tesla? It went from 28 billion back in 2014 to now a whopping $1.4 trillion. That is a very expensive price for the stock. Let's take a look at whether or not it is justified. So here at River One, we like to buy stocks low and sell them high. Let's take a look at what Tesla was doing in 2021. That was the first time this thing hit $1 trillion in enterprise value, and this stock was trading at a whopping 20x revenue. If you bought it then, you got crushed. Stock went from $1 trillion to $375 billion, then up to 770, then back to $1.4 trillion. So you either had to buy or hold just to make the 40%, or you got crushed because you paid the wrong multiple at 20x revenue. Let's take a look at the 22 multiple here. That is about 4.5x. If you buy that price, you've done really well over the last 2 years. What's today's price, however? It is extended just like the 2021 price was. Current multiple, 14x revenue for Tesla. That is not buying low by any definition. And let's take a look at the revenue growth numbers. Back here in 2021, why were we paying 20x revenue? Because the growth rate was 71% top line. That is a massive, massive growth rate. Today's growth rate is expected to be 3%, and yet you are still paying this very high 14x multiple. Now that 3% revenue growth is expected to extend to about 15 to 20% in the out years essentially, but you are paying a very high multiple. You are not buying low here. You are buying high and hoping to sell even higher essentially, and you better think that Tesla's revenue growth is going to beat, even maybe match these older years back here where things really exploded. That's going to be difficult in a more mature market, in a market that they've already taken a bunch of market share in essentially, and it's too high of a price for River One to be in this stock up here. Thanks for watching. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. Keep hitting those like buttons, that retweet, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. That's just starting to get going here essentially, and thanks for everything you guys do for us.